Okay, an amazing story happened to me yesterday. Well, it's been happening for a little over a week, but I have to tell it to you because it kind of all came full circle yesterday. And at the end, I will show you some videos and pictures so you know that it's all real. Um, as you know or don't know, I make headstones for a living. And 2 weeks ago, I got a call from my office saying that a gentleman came in who needs to buy a memorial. I came in, and this man's name was Jerry. Now, Jerry came in and told me that he lost his wife, Marcia, about 10 days prior. And he couldn't stop talking about her. He said they had no kids, it was just him and her. She was his everything. They were married almost 60 years, I think 55. And he just kept talking about how even now that she's gone, he wakes up sometimes and is looking for something and then calls Marcia to ask her until he fully wakes up and realizes that she's no longer around. Anyway, we were talking and he's telling me about their lives together, and he told me that they bought a house 3 years ago and they bought a bunch of houses as they moved in order to accommodate her health needs. And he just slipped in that he buys all his houses through Pickwick Realty, which is a local realty company. He said, I specifically work with Chevy Ashman. She's the best. And I said, oh, sure, I know Chevy. I coached her son in hockey, and I know her from the community. And he's like, yeah, she's so great. She actually came to Marcia's funeral. She's really special. So anyway, we're talking, and I asked him where he's from, because I heard he has kind of a foreign accent, like an Eastern European accent. And he said, I actually was born in Poland, which later became a town in Russia or Soviet Union when they took over. It's this town called Lvov. And he said that he grew up in Siberia, that his father was working in Siberia and basically would come home once a year, and that's when he was conceived. And then he grew up there, and then they went to go live with his father in Siberia. And then they moved back to this town in Poland, which was now Soviet Union. And he left there when he was 15 and came to the US. So I said, oh, so you left when you were 15. I guess you had your bar mitzvah in this town in Poland, which was now, Soviet Union. And he said, no, I actually never had a bar mitzvah. And I said, really? But you must have, put on tefillin since, because he was telling me about a rabbi here who did the funeral, who he knew through his father, a Russian-speaking rabbi. And I said, so you had a bar mitzvah at some point, or you didn't have a bar mitzvah, but you put on tefillin? He said, no, I've never put tefillin on ever. So of course, my mind gets going, and I'm thinking, this would be so nice. He never had a bar mitzvah. I bring my tefillin out, because I keep them in my car, and I said, would you want to put on tefillin? I was getting all excited that this was going to happen, and he rejected me so badly. He was like, no. I'm like, they're right here on the table. What do you have to lose? He's like, no, I'm never going to change. I'm 77. It's never going to happen. I believe Judaism is about just being kind to other people. And that's what I try to live by, and I don't need to do anything else. So I said to him, look, just to understand your psychology, is there anything wrong with it? That, you wouldn't just at least say one time in your life you put on tefillin? He said, it's not for me. Anyway, we made a memorial for Marcia, and I walked him out of my office, and I said, hey, if you ever change your mind, just come back here, we'll put on tefillin. He's like, okay, no problem. Now, I knew he wasn't interested, but I kind of had a feeling that this would resonate with him. I immediately messaged Chevy Ashman and said, I want you to know I met Jerry, and Jerry loves you. And she said, oh, Jerry's so sweet. I was just at Marcia's funeral. I really need to go visit him. He's a great guy. I said, do me a favor. I tried to put tefillin on him, and he rejected me. I said, but I know that somewhere in there's this Jew who could benefit from this mitzvah. And why don't you tell him that a great way to take care of Marcia's soul, like she took care of him, would be to put on tefillin. And she said, okay, I'm going to go see him. And she said, oh, by the way, look at this video. I just bought my boyfriend Michael tefillin. She sent to me, I said, do me a favor, when you go there, before you even bring up this thing, go there and show him this video, just like in passing, that you, put on fill. You bought fill-in for Michael and you surprised him for his birthday, and just see if he brings it up that I, said something or whatever. And she's like, oh, my son Ami would love to put fill-in on him, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, she went and saw him. She didn't tell me this, and then she messages me yesterday and says, I just want you to know what happened. I said, what? She said, I went to go visit Jerry, and I was asking him how he's doing, and he told me that he went and got a headstone for Marcia. He just volunteered this and told me that he met a guy named Neve, that Neve tried to put fill-in on him, but that he didn't want to. And she told him, a good way to help Marcia's soul would be to put on tefillin. It would be a beautiful mitzvah for her soul, like her and I discussed. And he said, you know what, I'll think about it. She said, well, my son Ami can come and we'll do it. And he said, you know what, if you bring your son Ami, we'll put tefillin on together. So yesterday, she sent me pictures and videos, which I'll share with you guys, of this Jerry, who's 77, born in Poland, raised in Siberia, putting on tefillin for the first time with her son Ami. Now that's a great story, right? Except there's more. You see, they had no kids, and so no one was saying Kaddish for Marcia. I don't know if Jerry even knew about it, but Chevy was there and talking to him, and she said, who's saying Kaddish for Marcia? And he said, no one. We don't have any kids, and I don't go to shul. No one's saying it. Chevy posted this story on her Instagram about putting tefillin on Jerry and how there was no one saying Kaddish. And someone saw her story yesterday, a woman in the community, and came to her and said, my husband had volunteered to say Kaddish for someone, and he did for a year, and he just ended it. And he said that it was so sad for him to stop saying Kaddish for this person, because he felt so fulfilled by doing this mitzvah for someone he never met before, for their neshama, for their soul. And I saw the story, and I told him, and he said he would love to say Kaddish for Marcia. So as of this morning, this man who's never met Marcia or Jerry is saying Kaddish for Marcia's neshama. There's so many lessons to take away from this. There's so many beautiful things. Obviously, the snowball effect of when you do one good thing, just out of a sincere place, not for any personal gain, but just to help another Jew, can snowball, and you just don't know the effects of that. And this is a very clear story of how Jews just caring about Jews equals good things. So obviously happy about Jerry, and I'm very happy that someone will be saying Kaddish over Marcia. And this is not a plug, but Chevy, I'm sure you're great at real estate, but keep doing what you're doing.